Good evening. The polls are still open in many parts of the country. Votes are already being counted in some others. And in 3 states where the polls now have closed, ABC News has the following projections. We project that Mr. Reagan has won in the state of New Hampshire. New Hampshire has 4 electoral votes. ABC News also projects that Mr. Reagan is the winner in Kentucky. Kentucky has 9 electoral votes. And in Indiana, where the polls have also closed, ABC News projects Mr. Reagan the winner. That is 12 more electoral votes in Mr. Reagan's column. At this early stage of the game, then, President Reagan already has 25 electoral votes. 270 are needed to win. Good evening. It is now 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and the polls have just closed in 7 more states. ABC News projects that Ronald Reagan is the winner in the state of Florida with 21 electoral votes. ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan is the winner in the state of Georgia with 12 electoral votes. And we also project that Mr. Reagan is the winner in the state of Virginia with 12 electoral votes.
And we also project at this time that Reagan has won Alabama with its 9 electoral votes. Mississippi for Reagan with 7 electoral votes. Vermont, Reagan, 3 electoral votes. South Carolina, Reagan, 8 electoral votes.
Thank you, David. Let us do our first recap of the evening. Those states and 3 states that we projected during World News tonight, Indiana, Kentucky, and New Hampshire, make the present electoral vote total look like this: 97 for Mr. Reagan, none for Mr. Wandale. 270 needed to win.
4 states, and we have a little news on what they've been doing in those voting booths all day. In Ohio, we project the winner to be Ronald Reagan. 23 electoral votes, the biggest state we have been able to call so far tonight, one Mondale desperately wanted. In North Carolina, for Reagan, we project Reagan and 13 electoral votes in North Carolina.
David, it is early in the evening, but Mr. Reagan is piling on the electoral votes with 270 needed to win. Mr. Reagan has 133 and Mr. Mondale has none. Good evening. It is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and the polls are closed in 16 more states. ABC News wishes to project that Ronald Reagan has won in the state of Texas with its 29 electoral votes. The polls are still open in some parts of the states, namely in El Paso, and there is an important House race there where your vote will still count. No Democrat has won the presidency without carrying Texas. ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan has won in the state of New Jersey. The Republicans have won it in the last 4 presidential elections. ABC News projects Mr. Reagan is the winner in the state of Missouri with its 11 electoral votes. ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan has won in Tennessee. He won it only by half a point in 1980. He wins it again tonight. And ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan is the winner of the 8 electoral votes in Oklahoma, part of his western base.
Peter, with the additional states closed, there are now enough electoral votes voted on and floating around to choose a president. We now project Connecticut to have gone to Mr. Reagan with its 8 electoral votes. Kansas for Mr. Reagan, 7 electoral votes by our projection. Maine, our projection is that Ronald Reagan has carried it, and it's 4 electoral votes. Delaware, our projection is that Reagan has carried Delaware with 3 electoral votes. And here's a big one. Illinois, Ronald Reagan, 24 electoral votes. Now the first victory tonight for Walter Mondale in the District of Columbia.
Adding up 254 for Mr. Reagan, 270 needed to win. Mr. Reagan is 16 short. Mr. Mondale has 3.
We now project the winner in Michigan to be Mr. Reagan, which gives him the electoral votes to make him president for a 2nd term. It gives him a total of 274.
Ronald Reagan still has a chance for an historic 50-state sweep.
One more state has closed its polls, Arkansas. Our projection is that Arkansas has gone to Ronald Reagan with its 6 electoral votes. Now, 280 for Mr. Reagan, 3 for Mondale. the 3 being from the District of Columbia.
And I have a projection. ABC News now projects that Mr. Reagan has won or is the winner in the state of Pennsylvania with its 25 electoral votes. That was one the Democrats really wanted very, very badly, a large Italian vote among other things. You can see now what that means in terms of electoral votes: 305 for Mr. Reagan, 3 for Walter Mondale, and we remind you that those 3 for Mr. Mondale have come in the District of Columbia. ABC News now wishes to project the state of Maryland. At the presidential level, the state of Maryland for President Reagan. Now, that is normally a very strong Democratic state, Mr. Reagan getting 58% of the vote. That's one of only 6 states that went for Mr. Carter in 1980. Mr. Reagan did run ahead in the polls earlier this evening, or earlier in the campaign, I should say, but Mr. Mondale had hoped very much, as had the Democrats, that they would be able to hold the state of Maryland. ABC News projects it has gone to Mr. Reagan with 10 electoral votes. It is 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It is 8 o'clock in the Midwest. ABC wishes to make the following projections. For president in the state of Louisiana, the 10 electoral votes ABC News projects will go for Mr. Reagan. He won it in 1980. He gets it this time. In Colorado, where the Midwest ends and the mountains begin, ABC projects Mr. Reagan will win Colorado, Gary Hart's home state, the Republican in every one of the last 4 elections. In Arizona, where the population shift has given Arizona an extra 1 electoral vote this year, ABC News projects Mr. Reagan. And in the state of Nebraska, typical of Mr. Reagan's strength in the Plains state, ABC News projects the 5 electoral votes will go to Mr. Reagan.
And we have more projections. New Mexico, also for Mr. Reagan. 5 electoral votes in New Mexico. In North Dakota, Ronald Reagan, 3 electoral votes. South Dakota, Ronald Reagan, 3 electoral votes by our projections. And in Wyoming, Ronald Reagan, 3 electoral votes. So up to this hour, it is a clean sweep of every state so far for President Reagan, with 3 electoral votes for Walter Mondale in the District of Columbia.
Exactly. To make another presidential projection, in the state of West Virginia, ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan will pick up the 6 electoral votes there.
The state of Rhode Island, which is one of the states the Democrats thought that they had a shot at. Rhode Island tonight we project for Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, the tiny state by the sea, Rhode Island for Ronald Reagan. It is a little corner of blue up there. Massachusetts still could go for Walter Mondale, of course.
Here is a projection that will be particularly distressing to the Mondale campaign. We project that the state of Massachusetts has gone for Ronald Reagan. Massachusetts, President Reagan, 13 electoral votes.
We want to make an important projection. ABC News now projects that Mr. Reagan has won in the state of New York, which, among other things, is the home state of Geraldine Ferraro. The Democrats had hoped very much that Ms. Ferraro would help in the state of New York. ABC News projects that Mr. Reagan will win in the state of New York with its 36 electoral votes. That is the 2nd largest number of electoral votes in the country, second only to California.
In the presidential race, we project, ABC News projects, that Wisconsin has gone to Mr. Reagan. Wisconsin is a neighboring state of Minnesota, Mr. Mondale's home state. Seems not to have helped him much.
It is 10 o'clock in the east, 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 o'clock on the Pacific. ABC News now projects that Ronald Reagan has won the 5 electoral votes in the state of Utah, the state that has given the Republicans their largest margins in 1976 and 80. ABC News projects Mr. Reagan in the state of Nevada with its 4 electoral votes. And we also project that Mr. Reagan has won, no surprise, the state of Montana, part of Mr. Reagan's western political fortress.
And we have still more projections. In Iowa, we project that Ronald Reagan has won the state and its 8 electoral votes. In Idaho, which he carried with 66% of the vote in 1980, in Idaho, we project that Mr. Reagan has again won the state and its 4 electoral votes. Here's the electoral total as it stands now. It is an all so far. Many states are still open, still voting. So far, it is almost a totally clean sweep for Reagan. The 3 for Mondale from the District of Columbia.
Big one, the biggest one of all on this election map, the home state of the President of the United States. California, 47 electoral votes. President Reagan, the winner in California. Mondale and Ferraro spent a lot of time and a lot of money in that state, had hopes that they could knock the president off in his own state, but tonight proves that they could not. We're going to project another state for guess who?
We have very few left.
Guess who? Ronald Reagan wins the state of Hawaii.
I have a projection, one we have all been waiting for with some interest and curiosity. It is from Minnesota. We project that in Minnesota, Walter Mondale has won his home state, and the first state he has won this evening. It's fairly close. It should be remembered, by the way, that Mondale has not actually lived in Minnesota for about 20 years. He's lived in Washington. But nevertheless, it's his home state. He grew up there. And there you see the first blue state on the ABC News map. Minnesota for Mondale.
The day after one of the most impressive presidential victories in American history, President Reagan and George Bush won 59% of the vote, beating the Mondale-Ferraro ticket by 18 points.